Here are 12 simple concepts that made me a better writer. I've learned many of these lessons through trial and error over the 12 years I've been writing novels. In this video, I'll explain why you should be a selfish writer, how to handle working on multiple creative projects at once, how to avoid burnout, and much more. Don't abandon your inner child. As you grow up, it can feel like you have to abandon everything childlike. The dreams you had, the boundless imagination, the naive curiosity. Adults have to be serious, right? Well, if you want to be a writer or an artist of any kind, you shouldn't give in to that pressure. Sure, some things will change, but don't let the wonder and unrestrained creativity of childhood disappear. Don't be afraid of what people will think. Create the space for your inner child in your creative process. To be a good writer, you can't just write. You need to go out and have experiences in the real world that can become material for your writing. Most great writers did a lot outside of writing itself. They traveled, worked odd jobs, conversed with other artists. You don't have to have an extraordinary life to be a good writer, but you should still actively seek new experiences and challenges. Be more than just a writer. You should be a selfish writer. Don't write a book for other people, write a book for yourself. Okay, it sounds selfish, but prioritizing your vision and voice over concerns about what your audience might want is the best thing you can do for yourself and your readers. Only by authentically writing for yourself, as yourself, will you truly connect with like-minded people and make something that matters. Trying to cater to outside tastes dilutes your unique perspective, and it makes writing less fun. If you write something for everyone, it'll be mediocre. If you write something just for yourself, well, I can't promise you it'll be any good, but at the very least, it'll be genuine. If you're an introverted writer like me, your introversion is both a strength and a weakness. Here's why. Writing is most often a craft done in isolation, something we're comfortable with. But to write a well-rounded cast of characters, we need to go out and interact with real people. Put yourself outside your comfort zone to meet new people and learn more deeply about them. You can even think of socializing as part of your book writing process. In learning about other people, you're not just being a nicer person, but you're also becoming a better writer. You are what you eat. If you're an artist, your art is informed by the media you consume. In the age of the internet, the sheer volume of content at our fingertips is overwhelming, which is why it's more important than ever to be selective about what you consume. So, at the risk of sounding like a parent telling you to eat your vegetables, be intentional about your media diet. Cultivate a space online of things that inspire you. Most content is noise, and it won't inspire or challenge you as an artist. Find the good stuff and ignore the rest. Of course, you can learn from bad content too. You can learn how not to write a book by reading a poorly written one. The important thing is to be intentional about what you're consuming. Don't let algorithms or trends dictate your taste. Should you work on more than one creative project at a time? What I've found to work is one project per medium at a time. So I might be writing a book, filming a video, and composing a song all in the same week. Personally, I find switching between different kinds of projects to be refreshing, but try to avoid working on more than one project of the same kind at a time. I wouldn't recommend writing 2 books simultaneously, especially if they're in the same genre. Focus on finishing the one you're more passionate about first. The more divided your attention is between different projects, the slower your progress will be. But if you're like me, working on multiple projects, each in different mediums, can actually be fun and prevent creative stagnation. If you're having trouble writing, it might be because you're overcomplicating things. It's easy to get distracted by a million tasks and projects other than writing itself. But trying to find the perfect playlist or writing environment or solution to a plot hole can be a form of procrastination. Sure, these things are helpful, but they're not essential. The only thing you really need to do to finish a book is to write the words themselves. Obvious, I know, but it's something I often have to remind myself of. So consider this a reminder to both of us to focus on what's essential. If you're not careful, your passion for writing can end in burnout. The overwhelming drive to create can be powerful, but if it's not harnessed properly, you'll end up having an unhealthy relationship with the creative process. You're never going to enjoy writing as much if you ignore the fundamentals of your well-being. Sure, I have nights when I stay up late writing, lost in a flow state of inspiration, but that's not sustainable over the long term. Find a way to make your schedule work for you and your writing. Don't ignore getting enough sleep, movement, water, and good food. There are times when it's good to push yourself, but if you aren't intentional in establishing boundaries and healthy habits, you'll end up hating the creative acts you once were in love with. Most people want to write a book. Most never do. The big difference between those who actually write a book and those who don't is a simple matter of timing. Anyone who wants to write a book but doesn't perpetually puts the writing of their book in the future. They'll write that book, in a year, which becomes 2, then 10, then 50, and before you know it, there's no time left to write that book. But those who write their book start writing in the present. They don't wait for permission. They don't wait until they're ready. So if you want to be one of the few wannabe writers who does write a book, don't wait. Start now. Start with whatever scraps of ideas you have. Start imperfect. Your book may suck. It probably will, but it'll exist, and that's more than most people can say. How do you know when to give up on a project and when to keep going? When things get tough in a creative project, especially something long like writing a novel, we're faced with a choice: persevere to the end or abandon it in favor of something else. There are 2 essential questions to ask yourself to find the best answer. 1. Why did I start this project in the first place? And 2. Has anything major changed since then? If you had a solid reason to start, and nothing has happened since then to make that reason less valid, you should probably stick with the project. On the other hand, if your why no longer resonates, you could consider moving on to a project better suited to where you're at now. If you find yourself creatively stuck, the solution might be unexpectedly simple. Go for a walk. I've had countless creative breakthroughs while walking my dog or going for a stroll. And this isn't just anecdotal. A Stanford study found that walking can increase creativity by 60%. Many famous writers, from William Wordsworth to C.S. Lewis, were avid walkers. I've found that the most ideas come to me when I have nothing to occupy myself but my own thoughts. No phone, no music or podcasts, and no particular destination. Carving out time to go for a walk might seem unproductive, but it can be remarkably transformative. To be a successful writer, you need to create your own luck. Chances are your book won't magically become a bestseller. You can't count on landing a major book deal. So if you want your work to go places, you need to take the initiative. Instead of waiting around for an audience for your book, go out and build one. If you're tired of hoping for someone else to publish your book, do it yourself. Instead of merely dreaming of success, take one small step toward it every day. Learn about writing and publishing. Reach out to people. Share your work online. It's those small steps that will pave your book's path to success. If you found one of these ideas helpful, leave a like, and subscribe for more videos on writing. You can support my work on Patreon, where you'll get behind-the-scenes looks, early access to upcoming videos, and more. Thanks for watching.